Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kahakwadash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that look like those heathen nations. This is not a black thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone, coming at you another lesson in truth. And this is a couple videos I watched. This brother here, Skano, 216 Skano from the gutter news. This light brown, look like a Latin king. One of those Spanish Cobras used to come up at 720 back in the day when I was bouncing there. But this is a so-called black guy, and there's nothing black about him except his knowledge. And I believe this dude is Northern Kingdom himself, but he's giving you gutter news about the relations between the Northern and the Southern Kingdom, not understanding that the Lord is brought the Northern Kingdom here in the flood matter that they have, and he's brought them here not to take over the drug game and take over the cities, but they've been brought here for judgment. The Lord is about to judge Egypt, so to speak. All right. And any of you Israelites, whether you're so-called black or so-called brown, all right, that doesn't have the light, the truth of the Lord in them, that's not calling them, that doesn't have that. Matter of fact, let's get some scriptures. First one, this is Isaiah 30:1, and it reads, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin." All right, so guys like him, this guy's in Cleveland. There's a great presence of the Great Millstone, and I don't know what other Israelite camps are there, but Great Millstone has been in Cleveland for quite a few years now. And those brothers out there going hard doing this work, all right, on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, Cleveland will be here in Chicago today, as will the majority of the Midwest is all linking up today. All right, to have to fellowship and and talk about certain things and just to keep order. And there's going to be a lot of Northern and Southern kingdoms together. See, the Lord has already brought those of us together that he wants together. Now, on the street side, these guys that run down to Egypt, he's going to give you a breakdown in the news. But what I'm seeing in Chicago, he kind of touches on it a little bit. All right. And maybe some of it is being done out of there is no choice. But I don't see that here in Chicago with the Northern Kingdom gangs that are linking up with the Southern Kingdom. Because on the west side and in Inglewood, all right, they kicking it. They clearly smoking weed, doing business, dealing with each other's women. Things are, So I don't know if that's out of necessity. I mean, if that's out of because they just trying to keep the peace. But that's what I see. I don't see all this aggressiveness one toward another. Not to say that it couldn't happen and that it won't happen. All right. But the serious reason, but the real thing that these people have to worry about is Esau Edom. All right, because Esau Edom is getting ready to annihilate himself and everybody else too. Okay, because what these guys are worried about things and they have no clue. Like we're gonna touch on this video with the Salakia. Let's go back. What the hell just happened here? Okay. Now I don't know what. I thought I had it pulled up. Esau tripping. So give me a second. Let's pull her up. Yeah. Know your enemy. This is a heavy video right here. All right. So yeah, let's just keep this on deck. But this is the Patriot Nurse right here. All right. I've been following her, and you know, for probably about maybe six years or so, something like that. And I've done a lot of videos on her content over the years, and this is a, you know, and I'm this is a sharp chick. I actually I fucks with the Patriot Nurse, but once again, you know, she reports on a lot of news that you know, and gives you a perspective that the mainstream media likes to ignore. All right. But you know, but then she irritates the hell out of me when she starts trying to, you know, talk about the scriptures and God, because she comes with that, you know, that that false Christianity mess, which isn't the truth, which isn't scriptural. All right. But nevertheless, there is going to be no peace here in Babylon. And what this guy has to understand, let's go to Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, is that the real reason that all those people from, because it's not just Venezuelans that were brought, they came from, you know, they came from different parts of South America as well, Central America. You got a lot of the Northern Kingdom here. You got other heathens that have come here, and basically they're coming here to be judged. All right, and this is what it comes down to. What y'all need to do, you know, is start listening to the men of the Lord. This is Ezekiel 9 and 4, and it reads, "He cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand." All right. So there's getting ready to be blood and chaos here in the city, both on the left-hand side and the right. All right. Because the hunters, it tells you in Jeremiah 16 that eventually the men who are teaching the truth will be anointed hunters from on high when the Lord imbues them with that power. That's going to happen. All right. So jumping down to verse 4, it says, "And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." And then that's not the same mark that's written in Revelation, the 13th chapter either, for you IUIC people. This is a mark for an exemption, the exemption from destruction. And destruction is about to come to my man Skano here if he don't wake up to the fact that he's a Hebrew Israelite, and the very people that he's talking about going to war with or linking up with are his brethren, looking like a damn Puerto Rican his damn self. All right. If this guy spoke Spanish, you would never know that he's a so-called black person, which I'm willing to bet that this dude is actually Northern Kingdom. All right. He just don't know it. Like Jake don't know most shit. They think that they black. All right. You know, that's actually a race. That's some shit. Look, blackness and whiteness are false social constructs that were put in place to cause division and to keep you ignorant by Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man who self-proclaimed himself white in 1681. Prior to 1681, there was no group of humanity that was referred to as white people. They made that shit up. And now they got you a whole race of people that are brown as fuck, running around calling themselves black. And then none of them, not one of them got black skin. The darkest of them is still brown. And you know, and we're tired of telling you dumb sons of bitches. All right? But it says, "And to the others said in my ears," I hope you're listening, Brother Skano. All right? Because I'm trying to help you here. "And the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, and let not thy eye spare. Neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but go not near any man whom is the mark." Once again, not the same mark, not the charagma that's written in Revelation, the 13th chapter, which is how you know, for these simple-minded people in these other camps that follow these false leaders, these 501c3 false leaders, all right, that you actually have to break down words and the meaning of words when you read them. And everything in English doesn't translate the same as they do in their actual languages, which is why that's written in the Apocrypha. All right, you have to actually go and translate what a word means in the Hebrew versus what a word means in the English, or a word in the New Testament in the Greek versus what it actually means in English, because everything doesn't translate the same. When you actually read a word and then all of a sudden you get a new or different, or you get the actual understanding of the scripture once you understand what a particular word actually means. That's another lesson in itself. All right, but it says, reading verse 5 again, and to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after through the city and smite. Let not that eye spare, have neither ye pity, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom the mark, and began at my sanctuary, and then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. So you're getting ready to see a lot of these church people and these people, these gang members put to death. All right, because what Jacob needs to understand, and my man Scano, you are Jacob, whether you acknowledge it, whether you know it. If you didn't know, you know now. All right, the death starts with our people, because we're the people of the Lord, and that's the punishment that comes upon that's coming upon us, especially those of us who refuse to acknowledge the gospel of this truth. You know, the Bible is the book and the heritage of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It's religion to everybody else, because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, took the law, statutes, and commandments, the book of our heritage, our history. The Bible is the most accurate history book ever written. And he took our book and he weaponized it against us. And he created these false religions and gave you, and created all these lies. And now you follow those, or you follow the ways of Babylon. So you run down to Babylon to seek the knowledge of Babylon, to follow those ways. All right, that's Isaiah 30 and 1. And it reads, woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, they may add sin unto sin, to walk and go down to Egypt, and have not ask of my mouth to strengthen themselves, but the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And the shadow of Egypt is this government, and this government is planning to come and kill all of you Negroes and Spigros, you niggas and spiggers. All right, because you're all the same to them. All right, so let's play a few moments of Scano, and then we're gonna play, about 4 minutes of the Patriot Nurse, and we'll wrap up with some scripture.
So that's where the war is that's where the beefing about to start, man. It was all good. Now they need to expand their clientele. Like I said, they taking over these communities, taking over projects. Now that's the extreme, but like I said, in Denver, that shit already has happened. And there's wars going on in different cities across America. And like I said, Cleveland included. Although for the most part, like I said, ain't shit really popping with that in Cleveland. But so you got No Limit Cairo just got knocked, with a switch. And obviously the word on the street is he out looking for them Venezuelan members, you know what I'm saying, that stepped on homie. And like I said, this shit about to be up, man. It's up now. And it's gonna be stuck up. If it ever was a time for you niggas to stop killing each other.
And he's right. Stuck up, meaning turned up. And it's about to be turned all the way up. And this division, because what's going to happen, the Lord is going to intervene. Jacob is about to join together and fight against Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And many of you are going to die, right? That's what's going to happen until the Lord pours out his spirit on you. And then he's, because he's taking that covering that covering that's on Esau Edom has been removed from him. So it's about to be a free for all on these Edomites as well. It's about to go down in Babylon, man. Every second that goes by, this shit gets closer and closer. Second Ezra's the 15th chapter.
For gangs to just unite. And it's been so much talk over the years. I mean, even within our own set, because like I said, man, all Crips don't get along. You know, it's different sets like Wolf Street, Grape Street, Hoover, and we sometimes it's beef with other members of the same gang, man, on different sets.
Yeah, especially here in Chicago, you know. And I left and came back to Chicago, and this is back in the 90s. I came home in 95. I came back to a city that was not the city anymore. It was different. You know, the folk sets was beefing with folks. The people was beefing with people. You know, because it used to be it was just a 5 and a 6. And the Latin gangs under the 5, they were in line and in league with the Blacc gangs under the 5. All right, the Latin gangs under the 6 were in league with the Blacc gangs under the 6. Came back, man, and I guess that crack hit, and that changed everything. So now there's just mad division and craziness. But guess what? Esau Edom is coming for all of y'all. All right? He's coming for all of y'all.
And the shit get complicated, man. And like I said, being that we don't have the structure and that's crazy that these motherfuckers come from over there and they more structured than us in our shit. You know what I'm saying? But they understand that's the only way they're going to survive. That's the only way.
The main reason behind that is that the majority of the Northern Kingdom grew up with the mother and father. The so-called black people in America was targeted. And that's because Esau Edom knows that that's primarily the tribe of Judah, Benjamin and Levi, the southern kingdom, especially the tribe of Judah in itself. And so the family structure was targeted to be destroyed. They've elevated these women over the men, don't give them, destroy the family structure, belittling the men and elevating the women. They give the women all sorts of, they give them the jobs, and they give them the collectively they give them the welfare aid and things of that nature, while denying that to the man, leaving the woman in charge. And so the Southern Kingdom males, they don't have any structure because most of them grew up without the man in their life, and they grew up and they handle situations like these. Just watch the videos of these ratchet ass women in the streets. All right, these are the mothers that raise these dread-headed, pants sagging, tight pants to sag. That shit is bugged out. Extra violent, effeminate, disrespectful, with no morals. The same, and then the same niggas that they complaining about dating was raised by they single mamas who raised them to be so. That's why they have no structure. Wherein the so-called Latin gangs, they have the influence of men in their lives, so they have more structure. And that's literally what it comes down to. The so-called Negro was targeted on purpose to be destroyed extra, because the enemy understands that the so-called Negro in America is the head tribe of the nation of Israel. All right? But through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the men of the Lord, we've come together. All right? Because you got to understand who the world ignorantly and fraudulently called Jesus Christ. If he was walking the street in the flesh today, there's people who would call him a nigga. All right? Because he would have the physical appearance of what you would refer to as a so-called black man. A tall, big black male, with the white beard and a white afro. That would be his appearance. That's his appearance that's described in the Bible over and over again. And, you would never know it, though, going to a Catholic church, looking at the whitewashed images from that time period.
Wait. So they own that shit. So like I said, man, Chicago about to be turned the fuck up. You niggas better stop worrying about, you know what I'm saying, 63rd and 61st, BD, GD, fuck all that, Philly. You niggas too. You know what I'm saying? Coming to a city near you, man. I'm telling you. A lot of niggas is just sleep on this shit.
And he's right. He's so right. I was just, you know, at a birthday celebration for my best friend's mom, people that I grew up with, and only went there literally to try to give them this message one last time. In all honesty, didn't really want to go. All right, and the same old wicked, abominable shit was going on. They just older now, and now their kids all grown and wicked as fuck just like their parents. And, you know, the doors of mercy are closing because Edom is about to make moves. And so we're going to play this video from the Patriot Nurse. And let's hear what this so-called white man is planning on doing. Edom. Let's read. What is he about to do?
We must retain the military because when we win, there will be a civil war, and we need the military on our side. And then
So a civil war in America, well, that's why they made the movie. All right? And if there's a portion in the movie where, you know, so-called black people and Latino people, they weren't doing so well in the midst of that civil war. So this white man is getting ready to raise up and kill each other, and they definitely gonna have a kill order on anything, on all you, anybody that looks like a brown paper bag or darker. They got hot lead for your ass and other ways of killing you. Drones, everything else. So you know, they're gonna take out whole blocks at once. You will see.
we will destroy the red state National Guards like Texas. I'd love to see the military go in there after we win, wipe out the Texas National Guard, and take Abbott and throw him in the Rio Grande and watch him drown.
Damn. Take Abbott and throw him in the Rio Grande and watch him drown. We're gonna have to play that again. All right. And guess what? That's what they intend on doing for the Michigan militia, the Tennessee, the Illinois militia, all these white militias. Guys like him want to come in and completely annihilate them. And when they do that, because that's what we always tell you, these white people is so racist and hateful. They've been talking about this race war, and you know, and with that lie about 14% of the so-called black people, that's such a played out, complete and total lie. All right. Because you're going to have to also face the Northern Kingdom too, because they are going to link up as scriptural. But the point being is that it's getting ready to be an all-out free-for-all war in America. And these white people, so-called white people, self-proclaimed, are getting ready to kill one another. And they're going to have no problem killing you so-called blacks and browns when this thing starts. And we're very, very close to this happening. Extremely close.
Drown in that
So let's play it again.
side, and then we will destroy the red state National Guards like Texas. I'd love to see the military go in there after we win, wipe out the Texas National Guard, and take Abbott and throw him in the Rio Grande and watch him drown in that chair of his.
Damn.
This dude right here is exactly the reason why we have the Second Amendment. Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. We're going to talk about today this guy, his ilk, and what it represents for us in preparing for the 2024 election. Let's get started. I would like to say that this dude is isolated in his feels and in his thoughts, but he's not. He is representative of a large swath of people who currently reside in the United States who are dedicated towards overthrowing our republic and installing a communist insurgency in its place. And they intend grave bodily harm towards anyone who would stand in their way. He just verbalized this to you. And he, again, is not alone. His violent rhetoric has been the rallying cry of the left over these past several years. And no, they are not about to go quietly. They're not about to go back underneath a president like President Trump, who essentially limits their power to grab money from people, to grab rights from people, and ultimately to subjugate their political opponents whom they wish dead. Obviously, we saw in this clip from the video.
Damn.
Have you heard people in your area mention similar things to what this dude said? Leave me a comment below. If you'd like to see the full video, which I recommend that you do.
So that collection of information and data too is being thrown out there, you know, because you best believe they're going to try to condemn us in simply for speaking the truth. All right, because we're not advocating going out on the streets and fighting all that, but nevertheless, anyone who speaks any truth or speaks against their agenda, you're gonna be deemed an enemy of the state. All right, point blank, period.
This was actually done by a young man named Nick Shirley, and on his YouTube channel, he is effectively a citizen journalist going around and interviewing different people. The full video that he filmed at the Democratic National Convention is well worth the watch. So I'll put a link in the description box below to his channel. You should definitely subscribe if you haven't done so. So what else did this dude say? Was there anything else that he advocated for aside from making sure that Governor Abbott was drowned in his wheelchair? He talked about violence against disabled people. That's pretty stout. What else did this crazed lunatic advocate for?
I want to see increased taxes on the rich, 90% taxing.
So let's see, 90% confiscatory tax on wealth, which, when you consider the ever shrinking pools of what is considered rich nowadays, they're considering people who are effectively, when it comes right down to it, household income of about $250,000. That is anymore barely enough to afford a down payment on a house, with the average people working and paying their expenses, which have increased anywhere from 30 to 50% since Biden and Harris have been in office. So let's get this straight. People are already in financial duress, and this group of people, which this individual represents, they want to steal it all. And my question is, what do you want to do with it once you've got it? You want to give it to who? Not the people, obviously, that you've stolen it from. Who is getting these services that they want to continue chopping up our money to distribute to? Oh, that's right, the rest of the world and everybody who wants to come here illegally. So what are they going to do when President Trump wins in 2024? Well, obviously, if this gentleman had his druthers, so to speak, in the South, we say druthers, like I'd rather. If he had his druthers, he would subjugate, destroy, burn, loot, maim, take everything, including people's lives and their obviously liberty and property.
And you best believe that he intends to take back the apartment complexes and apartment buildings that the Venezuelans have. The Venezuelans really have no power. They might have a little bit of street power, but they got no power. When these Edomites show up with their armored vehicles, when they show up with their drones and their helicopters, you're gonna find they can just when they get swatted. Watch the movie Afraid. All right, when they get swatted, when them teens come in and breach, hut, tapping each other on the shoulder, when they blow a hole in the wall and make a door because they don't need to go through the doorway, when they send them drones, when they blow holes in the rooftop and drop down into the buildings from the roof, you're gonna see that these gangs really don't have no power at all, man. All right, America is getting ready to be a bloodbath. All right, for you Israelites, 2 Ezra 15:24, warn to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power defile not my sanctuary. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore deliver he them unto death and destruction. The Lord's going to deliver you into the hand of these people, man. All right? Let's go up to verse 14, 2 Ezra 14, Salakia 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And a man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, and a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, all right, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So they're gonna kick in your doors with literal swords, especially the Northern Kingdom. They love machetes and knives, all right. But the ultimate modern day sword is a gun, all right, and they're getting ready to use them like crazy here in America, and it's going to quickly turn into a free-for-all with these so-called white people going after anything that's brown. All right, they showed you that in the very last the Purge Forever movie. All right, they start exterminating anybody that came south here that was south of the border, and any Negroes that was left here among them. They showed you that. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wakah, Kwadash, Kwam, Yasharala, Abba, Babal.